Live from the K2D4Network.com studios, it's Dan Hohlfeld.
Oh, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the broadcast. Dan Hohlfeld on live with Kerry Walker from Alice Eats the Apple. We've been talking about a lot of stuff, energies shifting, big experience changes. So Kerry, so what do you think of this Trudeau scandal? So basically, Jody Wilson, who is the former Minister of Justice now, was persuaded from prosecuting a California engineer company, which was SNC Lavalin, for bribery and fraud. And basically Trudeau came out and said, don't do that. These people are providing jobs to the market and we don't want to let them go. But then that's kind of being obstruction of justice. So now I'm going to bring the article on screen. Why I decided to show this was just because we had M and Ms.M. They were on your show also. That we got, this is the scandal. They were talking about that Trudeau was going to be caught in a scandal. Here it is. Now, I can't remember, and maybe you do, Kerry, if they said that he was going to have to resign.
I don't know. I don't know that part. I know that they're pretty amazing. Those two, Mr. and Ms.M. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, okay. But this begs a question, though, because he ran on the whole platform of being transparent and honest and for the little guy. And there are 5. He's in the process of 5 investigations, and they all seem relatively small. Well, this one's not. It's actually pretty big. So do you think you have to be pretty corrupt to run? And this is just a little side note. Or do you think that you get into the office and it kind of it bends you up?
Actually, I think both.
Yeah.
I think maybe people go in with pure intentions. They realize that they need money to run. So then you get special interests that'll help run their campaign, pay for it, finance it. And then you get corrupt because you have to deal with their interests. It's bought and paid for. And they couldn't do that with Trump. And that's why they got so pissed off at him. And all this stuff happened. And now that was the other thing, too, I wanted to mention, the Russian collusion. So now that's case closed, but you didn't hear it really on the news. They kept it hush-hush, quietly. Now they're trying to do this other thing.
Yeah, they're moving on to the next thing. I know. I've never seen anything like that. And people are just floored that I like him. And it's not that I like him or dislike him. I don't know the man. But I think he has a job to do. And he's here doing the job. He's here trying to shake things up and break things down.
And if we go back and look at the Q map, since we're on the subject, this was a couple posts ago now. As of now, that'll change really quick. Q's been posting like a madman. But some crazy, interesting connections here, because this big one, like a few of these you could let go. Like, okay, the Gmail, there's an envelope, and then this is a Masonic Royal Rich Apron. It's comparing the two together for people listening. And you got Facebook, and then the Masonic Tubal Cane, and then the Apple App Store, Android App Store, and a Freemason sign. They show how those look similar. But the big one for me that did is this Google Chrome. It basically looks like the same thing, but it's like a grayscale version, and it's the Divine King sign 666. So it's like these tech companies are just starting to like blatantly in your face push this stuff. And I've always seen this stuff, but it was always kind of like, well, it could be kind of taken a different way like that. But now with that Google Chrome one, that's really obvious that is the same. And then there's a Google Play. The Google Play Store, it says this, basically the seal of Satan. The lines keep going on the seal of Satan, but it's the same thing if you would erase it and put the triangle there.
You know what the weirdest one for me was? I Googled the Pope's throne and his hall. Pull that bad boy up and tell me that. So his audience hall and then the throne in the hall. And it's supposed to be Jesus with these. Anyway, take a look at it. I won't say anything else.
If it'll come up here, I put pops. Are you talking about the snake serpent one? Because that's the one that's
Isn't that crazy? And nobody, I mean, I just kind of came across it one day, and it's like, no one sees that this looks like a cobra head. No one sees that this looks like, it reminded me of that movie. Anyway, I do have a lot of parallels with the movies. Did you see it?
This picture here? Yeah. Because this was like, it's like in your face, but at the same time, it's like you wouldn't really notice if you don't really like kind of pay attention to this stuff. Because you can definitely see the teeth there, the eyes, would that be his forehead, I suppose, and
yeah, it's sort of that slope. And then inside, it even looks at inside. And that throne reminds me of that movie with Al Pacino, and he's the devil, and he had with Keanu Reeves. And it's like he had this undulating backdrop in the movie. Anyway, it is just sort of what it reminds me of. I know, it's crazy. I mean, the symbolism all around is crazy. But last night I was looking at chemtrails. I'm really intrigued by chemtrails. And I went in totally open. This is why this stuff's so confusing. Wikipedia stopped short of saying, if you believe in chemtrails, you're a kook. It's just water, condensed, and there was this report that the U.S. Air Force put out in 1996, and that started this whole thing. And Art Bell was the one that brought up and said chemtrail and all this stuff. Well, then I looked at ABC, NBC. They would a few different places ran these different clips saying, yes, we tested it. There is stuff coming from the sky. Mm-hmm. We do think there are chemtrails, and if Art Bell came up with the term chemtrails, this person on NBC said something about, I had it down. It was Congress passed, or they were trying to pass this bill, and and in the bill, they talked about keeping the airspace safe and no war, but they mentioned chemtrail in this government bill. And I went to gov.com. I went to the government site, and anyway, I'll send that to you because it says chemtrail. I'm like, well, if Art Bell came up with the term chemtrail, then why did the government just like wahoo it from Art Bell if we're so kooky? So anyway, my point is that you can go over here and you can find everything that says that, this is nuts. You can go over here and everything says it's the real deal. I know that there are things that go on that they don't want us to know, but it's just really confusing.
That's crazy. Then that, man, yeah, you should have had that document ready. I could have brought it up on the show, but that's for them to actually admit that.
Yeah.
Like in your face.
And it was just, and then they were saying, anyway, I'll send it to you because it's really interesting. Yeah. Just to read through it.
A lot of the congressmen and the senators, that in that documentary, what in the world are they spraying? Every time they would try to go confront these people, they'd take off, run away. They don't want to answer. Now it's like not in your face, and it's like, I guess they call it geoengineering too, but we're doing it in the name of climate change, of course.
What is the stuff that falls from the sky? They're like little spaghettis. I was sitting outside one day at a son's practice, like, what is that? And it was just falling from the sky. These little, they look like little spaghettis. They were white.
It's probably tiny. The chemtrail stuff.
Yeah, something. Yeah. I don't want to sit outside and
But then they
sniff.
talk about, I had oh man, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She came on and talked about the nanotechnologies and stuff, and the black goo and the microchips that they put into those chemtrails is just that are actually in people now. I think everybody has it inside of them, and it's crazy because they'll take like grape juice, hold it in their mouth, spit it on the plate, and then they add alcohol to it, and then all of a sudden everything starts squirming. It's like when you think about that being inside of you, it's like, all right.
See, and that though, I do have to say that
Angel hair.
Angel hair, yeah.
That's what Night Saber said in the chat room. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know. I can go down that road. So I have a guide, a pretty cool guide, and he's like, look, you're not meant to slay the dragon. That's not, and because it is, there's a lot of justifying, and there's a lot of you gotta believe me, and how can you people? I would get so angry. It's like, how can you not see this, and how can you vote for that person? And And I said, look, you're getting slimed. You're getting slimed. You bring the light. Other people's, that's their job. They're built to help slay the dark. And so, but I do think you have to be aware of it. But man, isn't it a slippery slope?
Oh, yeah.
It can just make you crazy. At least I can with me.